Guys, today I'm making a Disney Frozen themed cake and I want to make some edible glass. So let's start there. It's really easy to make, only 3 ingredients. It's 2 cups of sugar, 3/4 cup of water, and 2/3 of a cup of light corn syrup. That's it. You put it in a pot with a candy thermometer and you heat it till it comes to 300 degrees, which means you'll be stirring forever until your arm falls off. Or at least it feels like it. Make sure your thermometer isn't touching the bottom of the pan. You don't want to get a incorrect reading. So you'll just stir it till it boils. At one point it'll get real foamy like it is here. And then it'll kind of go back down and become syrupy, which we'll see here in a second. And then once it reaches 300 degrees, you can take it off the stove and you can add coloring or flavoring if you want. You can flavor this. This is the stuff like you make lollipops with. You could also use isomalt and make this, but I mean, why would you? It's just sugar, water, and syrup. And I'm dyeing mine purple because I'm doing a frozen themed cake, but you could make it red for Halloween, if you wanted to have bloody looking glass on a cake. I didn't flavor mine. It's just sugar. And then you'll pour it out on parchment paper. Don't use wax paper. This is really hot. Use parchment paper and then let it cool all the way down. And then once it's cooled down, it's real easy to break. Put a little wax paper, give it a little tap, and there you go. It's broken. I'm going to use the shards because it resembles the house Elsa makes in Frozen. She does it out of glass or ice. And here I am. I'm just covering the cake in blue buttercream. I am not using a tip, just a bag. Goes on really ugly, but it does look pretty once it's done. And I use the paper towel method always because I'm using a crusting buttercream. I don't think you can use the paper towel if you're not using a crusting buttercream. I think it would stick in the icing, or it would be difficult. You'd have to wait a while. But once I get it done, it's a 2-tier cake, so the top tier is exactly like the bottom tier as far as covering it in buttercream. And I put them both in the fridge and let the buttercream harden. And in the meantime, I make a bunch of snowflakes to put on the cake so they could be sitting. Here I am doweling. Now the top cake is a really small cake. It's just a 5-inch, so I don't need many dowels. I do have a video on the correct way to dowel. And here I'm checking to make sure it's level, which it is. It's level that way, and then I'll turn it to see if it's level in the other direction, which it is. The problem I have is my holder for my camera isn't very strong. I guess my camera is heavy and it keeps tilting, which drives me nuts. Makes it look like my cake is leaning when it's actually the camera. Now I'm doweling all the way down between the 2 cakes with a long skewer. That way the cake will not move in transportation. You don't want your top cake sliding off your bottom cake. That would be bad. And because I use 2 boards on my cakes, I always have to go back in, add a little buttercream to cover up that second board. And I made Sven out of modeling chocolate. He turned out cute. And I'm just using white buttercream to make like snowballs. I'm using a tip, I think it's 9 or 10, a big round opening. And how you do that without getting those little tip pull-outs is you'll squeeze, get the size of ball that you want, stop squeezing, and then pull away. If you pull away while you're squeezing, you're going to get those little points, and you don't want those. Now I'm using cookie icing instead of the regular, it's mostly candy melt in those bottles for the drip. The drip does go on a little better. This candy icing is kind of thick. Of course, my kitchen was kind of cold when I was doing this. I should have warmed the bag up some. but I just decided to try it, and it worked okay. Not the best, but not the worst. And then now I'm attaching all the snowflakes I had made earlier. I like to make them and let them dry a little bit before attaching to the cake because they get floppy if you're just cutting them and trying to put them on the cake. They're hard to get on, and they want to break on you. So for the cake topper, I made Olaf out of modeling chocolate, and I made him wearing a hat and having a cane like he was in the very first Frozen when he was singing about summer. If you've seen the movie, you know how funny that was. And so I put him wearing the hat and carrying the cane. I don't know. I mean, he turned out okay. There's something about him that's bugging me, and I don't know if it's just I'm too tired. Sometimes, you just get really tired. But anyway, let me know what you think of Olaf. I attached him with a toothpick, and here the cake is finished. If you've enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and I will catch you all in the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.